Hello children, welcome to Standard 9 ICSE Biology classes. Today we'll start with a new chapter, Tissues. Under this chapter, we'll discuss in detail about plant and animal tissues. We have studied about cell in the previous chapter and now we know that cell is the fundamental, structural and functional unit of life. All activities of an organism is the outcome of cellular activity. But a single cell working on its own would achieve very little inside an animal or a plant. So, similar cells work together as a team to perform the same functions, and such groups are called tissues. So, we can define tissue as a group of similar cells performing a specific function. Most plants and animals show a tissue system. The human body, for example, has an epithelial tissue of the cells covering the skin. The muscular tissue, made up of muscle cells, contract and bring about movements. The nervous tissue, made up of neurons or nerve cells, help in conducting impulses throughout our body. In plants, the conducting tissues help in transporting water and minerals absorbed by the root to all other parts of the plants and the food produced by leaves to other parts of the plants. The meristematic tissue consists of actively dividing cells which helps in growth of the plant, and the supporting tissue helps in giving mechanical strength and support to the plant. Now, we'll discuss about the levels of organization in our body. In this, we'll study what is the relationship between tissues, organs, organ system and organism. Several tissues working together to perform a specific function inside the body of an organism constitute an organ. Many organs acting together to perform a specific life process constitute an organ system. And all the organ systems together constitute the organism. So, in this chapter, we'll study about plant tissues and animal tissues. Let's begin with plant tissues. Plant tissues basically are of two types. They are meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue contains dividing cells which produce new cells, and permanent tissues are non-dividing and specialized. Let's study about meristematic tissues. Meristematic tissues are also called meristem. They are mainly found at all growing parts of a plant such as tips of root, stems and branches, and also present between the bark and the wood of trees. It mainly leads to growth in length and diameter of the plant. Now let's study the chief characteristics of meristematic tissue. The cells of the meristematic tissues are small, usually cubical. The cell walls are thin and the nuclei are large. Vacuoles are almost absent. The cells are tightly packed with almost no intercellular spaces, and the cells actively divide, adding new cells to the plant. And the last point, new cells thus produced are transformed into mature permanent tissues. The meristematic tissues can be classified into two categories. The first one is apical or terminal meristem. It is located near the tips of roots and stems and also in the growing young leaves near the tips of stems as well as on the tips of axillary buds. It helps in increase in length of the plant. The cambium or lateral meristem is situated below the bark and is responsible for increase in the diameter of the stem, that is, increase in thickness or width of the stem. The second type of plant tissues are permanent tissues. They are made up of cells which have lost their ability to multiply. They take a permanent shape to perform some permanent function. They may be living or dead. According to their functions performed, the permanent tissues are of three types. They are protective, supportive, and conductive. The first type of permanent tissue is the protective tissue. It consists of cells with thick walls. They are found on the surface of roots, stems, leaves, etc. Example for protective tissue is epidermis of leaves, which secretes a waxy waterproof material called cuticle. Similarly, the cork cells in the bark contain another strong waterproof material. The supporting tissues are of several types. The three most important ones are parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Let's begin with the first type of supportive tissue, that is parenchyma. Parenchyma is composed of large, thin-walled cells, usually with a single large vacuole. They are found in the soft parts of the plant, such as in the cortex and pith of the roots and stems. These cells are living. They store food and also provide temporary support to the plant. Potatoes are mainly composed of parenchymatous cells. Some parenchymatous cells, particularly in the leaf, contain chloroplast and are called chlorenchyma, which helps the leaf to produce food. The second type of supporting tissue is the collenchyma. It is made up of parenchymatous cells which are elongated and are thick at the corners. It is found in the leaf stalks and below the epidermis of leaves. This tissue helps to support the parts of a plant. The third type of supportive tissue is sclerenchyma. It is composed of long, narrow and thick cells which have become dead. These cells develop very thick walls due to the deposition of lignin. This tissue provides strength to the plant parts and it is mainly found in the stems and veins of the leaves. The third type of permanent tissue is the conducting tissue. It is also called vascular tissue. It provides a passage for water and dissolved materials to move up and down in the plant. The xylem and phloem are the two types of conducting tissues. The xylem cells are thick-walled. These cells are somewhat in the form of tubular passage. They provide up for upward movement of water and dissolved materials absorbed from the soil by the roots to other parts of the plants. Usually, older xylem do not participate in transport and it forms the wood of the plant. You can determine the age of a tree by counting its annual rings, which actually are the xylem rings. The xylem tissue consists of tracheids and vessels, and they are also called the tracheary elements and xylem parenchyma respectively. Whereas the phloem tissue provide a passage for the downward movement of food manufactured in the leaves to various parts of the plant. They also provide for the upward movement of the prepared food towards the growing new leaves. The phloem consists of sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. Here we can see that the parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma are made up of same type of cells. Thus, they are called simple tissues. Whereas the xylem and phloem are made up of more than one type of cells and that's why they are called the complex tissues. Let's have a recap of the plant tissues. Plant tissues are of two types. They are the meristematic tissue and the permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue contain actively dividing cells which helps in increase in length and diameter of the plant. The meristematic tissues are of two types. They are the apical or the terminal meristem, which helps in increase in length of the plant, and the cambium or the lateral meristem, which helps in increase in thickness of the plant. The permanent tissues include non-dividing cells and they perform particular function. They are of three types. They are protective, supportive, and conducting. Protective tissue mainly includes the epidermis, which covers the surface of roots, stems, and leaves. Supportive tissue, which includes parenchyma, which consists of soft filling plant tissues. Collenchyma, which contains elongated thickened cells, and the sclerenchyma, which is made up of thickened lignified cell walls. The conducting tissue or the vascular tissue consists of more than one type of cells working together. They are of two types. They are the xylem and the phloem. The xylem helps in upward conduction of water and is made up of cells like tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma. And phloem tissues helps in the conduction of food materials. It is made up of cells like sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. With this, we come to an end of today's session. Now, it's time for home assignment. Thank you.